Steven Seagal walked into Elite Dragon Dojo at 9:47 a.m. alone, no bodyguards, no crew, no cameras. Just faded black training pants and an old gray T-shirt with a coffee stain. He looked like every other middle-aged guy having a midlife crisis. The receptionist was on her phone, laughing at a TikTok video. Steven stood at the counter. 10 seconds passed. 20. She didn't look up. Finally, he cleared his throat. She glanced up, annoyed.
Yeah, I'd like to join.
She looked him up and down. Unimpressed. First class is 300 point okay. She raised an eyebrow. Surprised he didn't flinch at the price. Cash or card? Steven pulled out $300 bills. She took them, still not making real eye contact. Sign this waiver. If you get hurt, it's on you. He signed. She barely looked at the form. Classes start in 10 minutes. Beginners stay in the back. Don't touch the pro equipment. Steven nodded and walked toward the training floor. What she didn't know, what nobody there knew, was that she'd just dismissed a 7th degree black belt in Aikido, a man who'd trained under the greatest masters in Japan, someone who'd spent 40 years mastering multiple martial arts, and what was about to happen would be recorded and go viral within 24 hours. Have you ever been completely underestimated because of how you looked? The main training floor was massive, 50 students warming up, loud music, energy drinks scattered around, mirrors on every wall. 3 instructors stood at the front wearing matching black uniforms with gold trim. The center one had Heed I Estru Cito R stitched across his back in bold letters. Marcus, the Mauler, Chen, former underground fight circuit champion. At least that's what the promotional posters claimed. Marcus spotted Steven immediately. The quiet demeanor, the lost dad energy.
Easy target, you ought to peeve ever yun.
Marcus shouted. The entire class stopped. 50 pairs of eyes turned to Steven. Marcus grinned and walked toward him. Looks like we got fresh meat today. Scattered laughs from students. What's your name, Steven? Steven. Cool. Cool. You ever trained before? A bit. Marcus smirked. Where'd you train? Planet Fitness. Louder laughter. Steven stayed calm. Different places. Marcus circled him like a predator. See, Steven, this isn't a different places kind of gym. We don't do yoga and participation trophies here. We break people. We rebuild them. You ready for that? I'll find out. The room went quiet. Marcus's smile faded. Oh, you got jokes. He stepped closer, chest puffed. Tell you what. How about you show us what you learned in those different places? Let's spar. Light contact. Just so I know what level to put you at. Steven looked at him calmly. If that's what you want. Marcus turned to the class, arms spread wide.
Evir ECLEP.
Let's see what Grandpa's got. Would you have stayed quiet like Steven? Or called him out immediately? But here's what nobody in that room knew. Steven wasn't there by accident. 2 weeks earlier, he got a call from Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel was Steven's student 18 years ago before moving to LA for an engineering job. They'd stayed close. Now Daniel had a son, Tommy. Age 16. Good kid. Straight A student. A little quiet after getting shoved into lockers at school. Tommy wanted to learn self-defense. Daniel researched every dojo in LA. Elite Dragon had 5-star reviews, a professional website, and before-after success stories. It looked legitimate. Tommy enrolled for a 6-month program. $3,600 upfront. Week 1 seemed fine. Week 2, Tommy came home with a bruised rib, just from sparring Dad. Week 3, a black eye. I paired with an advanced guy. My fault. But Daniel noticed something else. Tommy stopped smiling, stopped talking about class, started making excuses not to go. Finally, on week 4, Tommy broke down crying. They hate me there, Dad. Marcus makes me spar with guys twice my size. When I mess up, he stops class and makes everyone watch him correct me. Yesterday, he made me do 200 burpees because I didn't bow right. I threw up. Everyone laughed. Daniel felt rage building. We're done with that place. Next morning, he drove to the dojo, asked to speak with the owner. A man in his 50s emerged. Designer suit, gold Rolex, slicked hair, Richard Kostov, former Eastern European kickboxer turned businessman. My son is being abused by your staff? Richard barely looked concerned. Abuse? No. Tough training. Builds character. He's 16. He's being humiliated. Your generation is too soft. My father beat me with a stick to make me strong. Look at me now. Daniel kept his composure. I want a refund, we're leaving. Richard laughed. Actually laughed. Read your contract, no refunds. 6 months, paid in full. You signed it. You can't be serious. I'm very serious. Now leave before I have security escort you out. Daniel's hands clenched. You're going to regret this. Richard leaned forward. Are you threatening me? In my own dojo. Two large men appeared from a back room, security. Leave. Now? Daniel left, shaking with anger. That night he called Steven, told him everything, the bullying, the humiliation, the refusal to refund, the threats. Steven listened in silence. When Daniel finished, Steven asked one question. What's the address? Steven, you don't have to. What's the address, Daniel? 3 days later, Steven walked in, looking like nobody, paid like everybody else. Because he needed to see the truth himself. And what he saw in those first 5 minutes confirmed everything. But what he was about to do would change everything. Ever felt so angry you wanted to expose someone yourself? The circle formed, Marcus in the center, bouncing on his toes, Steven across from him still. Calm. All right, Steven, throw something at me. Anything. Steven didn't move. Marcus frowned. Come on, old man. Don't be shy. Still nothing. Marcus's smile became forced. What, you scared now? He faked a jab at Steven's face. Steven didn't flinch, not even a blink. Marcus reset, irritation flashing across his face. Okay, tough guy. My turn. He threw a real jab this time, fast, crisp. Steven moved his head 2 inches left. The punch missed. Marcus threw a combination jab, cross hook. Steven slipped all three with minimal movement. Like he was reading the attacks before they came. The room went quiet. Students stopped whispering. Marcus was breathing heavier now. You've got some reflexes. I'll give you that. He threw a spinning back kick, flashy. Powerful. Steven sidestepped and caught Marcus's ankle mid-air. Held it there, effortlessly. Marcus tried to pull free. Couldn't. Let go. Marcus said, voice tight. Steven released him. Marcus stumbled backward, face red. Ever seen someone's confidence completely shatter? Dudder chio shul are you? Marcus shouted. Before Steven could answer, another instructor stepped forward, 6'3", tutored 40 pounds. Former college wrestler. Marcus, I got this. Jake approached Steven, cracking his neck. Listen, old timer, I don't know what lucky moves you pulled, but he shot for a double, leg takedown. Classic wrestling, fast, powerful. Proper technique. Steven sprawled, caught Jake's head, and applied a gentle guillotine choke, not to hurt him, just to control him. Jake tapped frantically. Steven released immediately. Jake gasped for air, eyes wide with shock. What the hell was that? A third instructor jumped in now, Devin Lee, former Muay Thai fighter, covered in tattoos. That's it, get out. No. Steven stood calmly. I paid for a class. I don't care. Leave before. Devon threw a surprise punch. Steven redirected it with his forearm, stepped inside Devon's guard, and placed his hand on Devon's chest. Then pushed. Gently, Devon flew backward 8 feet and crashed into the wall. The room wired.
Yeah, whoa! Did you, is he too hot?
It's not possible.
Students pulled out phones, recording everything. Marcus, Jake, and Devon looked at each other. Then all three rushed Steven at once. The crowd gasped. 3 trained fighters against 1 older man. This should have been over in seconds. But what happened next shocked everyone. Steven moved like water. He redirected Marcus into Jake. They collided and went down. Devon swung wildly. Steven caught his wrist, twisted, and Devon hit the mat hard. 10 seconds. All 3 down. Steven stood in the center, breathing normally, not even sweating. The crowd was silent. Then the dojo owner burst through the door. Richard Kostov. WHT hell is happening. He saw his 3 instructors on the ground, saw Steven standing calmly. Yo, get out Nanu before I call the cops. Steven turned to face him. Call them. I don't know who you think you are. Steven Seagal. Everything stopped. Richard's face went ghost white. A student had already Googled it. Moai Jode itis raloim. Phones came out everywhere. The actor? Dude, he's a legit 7th degree black belt.
He trained in Japan.
Marcus looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. But the real shock, that came next. Richard's hands trembled. Mr. Seagal. I had no idea you were. That's the problem. Steven interrupted. You treat people differently based on who they are, not on basic human respect. Richard tried to recover, forcing a smile. Sir, there's been a misunderstanding. My instructors get enthusiastic sometimes, but we run a professional. Steven's voice was calm but sharp. Is it professional to bully teenagers? Richard's smile vanished. I don't know what you're talking about. Tommy Rodriguez, 16 years old. You've been humiliating him for weeks. Richard's eyes narrowed. Are you friends with Rodriguez? He's family. Richard's face changed. Calculation replaced fear. I see. So this is what, some kind of revenge visit? You come in here, assault my staff? All because some kid couldn't handle real training. The room tensed. Steven stepped closer. You charged his father $3,600 and then refused a refund when your instructors abused his son. That's business. He signed a contract. Contracts don't protect you from abuse. Richard's jaw clenched. This conversation is over. Get out before I have you removed for trespassing and assault. Steven didn't move. I'm not going anywhere. Richard pulled out his phone. Then I'm calling the police. Good idea. Richard paused, confused. Steven pulled out his own phone and made a call. Detective Martinez. It's Steven. I'm at the location. You can come in now. Richard's face went pale again. What? What did you just do? The doors opened. A woman in her 40s walked in. Detective Lisa Martinez, LAPD. Behind her, 2 uniformed officers. Behind them, Daniel Rodriguez with a stack of folders. Richard's eyes went wide. What is this? Daniel stepped forward. 3 weeks ago, you threatened me. Refused to refund money when my son was being abused. So I started digging. He opened a folder. Want to know what I found? Did you see Teachais coming? Daniel pulled out documents. In the last 18 months, 23 families filed complaints against this dojo. Richard scoffed. Complaints mean nothing. 6 resulted in hospital visits. Daniel continued. 2 concussions. 1 dislocated shoulder. 3 broken bones. All minors. The students in the room went silent. Detective Martinez took the documents. And when parents tried to get refunds or press charges, Daniel continued. You offered cash settlements with NDAs. He laid out canceled checks. 5,000 to the Chen family. 8,000 to the Patel family. 12,000 to the Morrison family after their daughter's arm was broken. Richard's face went red. Those were goodwill gestures? To avoid frivolous lawsuits. They're called hush payments. Detective Martinez said coldly. And they establish a pattern. Steven stepped forward. But that's not even the worst part, is it, Daniel? Daniel pulled out more papers. Elite Dragon Dojo advertises as a certified martial arts academy, registered with national organizations, legitimate credentials. He paused. Except none of you are actually certified. Jespes from the students. Marcus stood up quickly.
That's a lie.
Really? Daniel pulled out certification records. Marcus Chen. You claim to be a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo. The World Taekwondo Federation has no record of you past white belt. Marcus's face drained of color. You advertise as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. Your actual rank? 2. Stripe white. You quit after 6 months. Jake looked at the floor. Devon Lee, former Muay Thai champion. I called gyms in Thailand. Nobody's heard of you. Devon said nothing. Daniel turned to Richard. And you? Richard Kostov, Eastern European kickboxing champion. He pulled out a faded newspaper article. You fought in 3 amateur matches in Bulgaria in 1997. Lost all 3. Never fought professionally. Ever. The room exploded with whispers. Everything here is fake. A student shouted. We paid thousands of dollars. Another yelled. Richard's face was bright red now. You can't prove any of this. Actually, Detective Martinez interrupted. We can. Fraud, misrepresentation, assault on minors. Operating a business under false credentials. She pulled out handcuffs. Richard Kostov, you're under arrest.
You can't do this. I have lawyers. I'll sue all of you.
You can call your lawyer from jail. Martinez said. She cuffed him. Richard looked at Steven with pure hate. You think you're some kind of hero. You assaulted my instructors. They attacked me. Steven said calmly. 50 witnesses. And it's all on video. He pointed to the dozen phones still recording. Richard was led out, still shouting threats. Marcus, Jake, and Devon were also detained for questioning. As the police left, the students stood in shocked silence. Then one girl started crying. We've been training here for 2 years. None of it was real. Others joined in. My parents paid them $10,000. I thought I was learning from professionals. I told everyone at school I was training at an elite academy. The devastation was visible. Steven looked at all of them. What happened here wasn't your fault. A boy spoke up angry.
Then whose fault is it?
Where are we supposed to go now? Steven looked at the 40 students in front of him, angry, betrayed, lost. He made a decision right there. How many of you actually want to learn real martial arts? Slowly hands went up, almost everyone. Then I'll teach you. The room went silent. What? Someone asked. I'll open a real school. Proper instruction, real certifications, no fake credentials. Why would you do that? A girl asked. Because you deserve better than this. A student in the back shouted.
But you're Steven Seagal. You don't teach random people?
I taught random people for 20 years before movies. I can do it again. Daniel stepped forward. I'll help. Find a location. Handle the business side. Steven nodded. Anyone who was scammed here gets their first 3 months free. After that, pay what you can afford. Nobody gets turned away for money. A boy raised his hand timidly. Mr. Seagal, are you serious? Completely. Another student asked, when? 3 weeks. I'll have a place ready. Would you have trusted him after being lied to once already? 3 weeks later, Steven opened Dragon's Path Dojo. Simple location, clean mats, basic equipment, but everything was real. Opening day, 41 students showed up, including Tommy, Daniel's son. Steven addressed them all. I'm not going to lie to you. Real martial arts is hard. It takes years to master. You'll fail more than you succeed. He paused. But I promise you this, I will never lie to you. Never fake your progress. Never humiliate you. And never charge you for something you're not getting. He looked at each face. Everyone starts at white belt. I don't care if you trained elsewhere. We start fresh. We do it right. Training began, no yelling, no intimidation, just teaching, proper stance, proper breathing, proper technique. Students who'd been terrified at Elite Dragons started to relax. After class, Tommy approached Steven. Thank you for doing this. Your dad did the hard part. He fought back when nobody else would. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you let them attack you? You could have stopped them immediately. Steven smiled slightly. Would anyone have believed me if I just told them this place was fake? Or did they need to see it? Tommy understood. Over the next months, word spread, not from advertising, from students telling their friends this place is real. Enrollment hit 120, then 200. Steven brought in certified guest instructors, real black belts, actual champions, legitimate teachers, but the core principle stayed the same: respect, honesty, real training. One evening, a news crew showed up. Mr. Seagal, you've become a local hero. I'm not a hero. I just exposed frauds. What's your message to other martial arts schools? Steven looked directly at the camera. If you're lying about credentials, you will be caught. If you're abusing students, you will be stopped. And if you think nobody's watching, you're wrong. Should there be stricter regulations for martial arts schools? 6 months later, Richard Kostov was convicted fraud, assault on minors, operating without proper licensing, 3 years in prison, a $340,000 in restitution to families. Marcus, Jake, and Devin took plea deals, community service, banned from teaching martial arts. Their fake credentials were publicly exposed, but the real story was what happened to the students. At Dragon's Path Dojo's first belt ceremony, 30 students earned promotions, real ranks, tested properly, earned legitimately. Maya Chen, 17, earned her yellow belt. She spoke to the crowd of families. 6 months ago, I thought martial arts was about violence and fear, but I learned it's about discipline and respect. She looked at Steven. Someone gave me a chance when I felt worthless. That changed my life. Tommy Rodriguez earned his yellow belt too. I learned that real strength isn't about dominating others. It's about protecting them. Standing up when something's wrong, even when it's scary. One by one, students shared their transformations. Steven stood in the back, watching quietly. Daniel approached. You changed these kids' lives. They changed their own lives. I just showed them the path. You did more than that. Steven shook his head. This is what martial arts is supposed to be. This is what my teachers gave me. I'm just passing it forward. A reporter approached. Mr. Seagal, final question. What do you want people to take from this story? Steven thought carefully. That how you treat people when you think they don't matter reveals everything about your character. He looked at the students celebrating. These kids were exploited because someone saw them as dollar signs, not people. He turned to the camera. Real strength isn't about how hard you can hit, it's about what you do with your power. Do you use it to lift others up, or tear them down? And to anyone being scammed or abused, speak up. Document everything. Find allies, because staying silent protects the guilty. The reporter nodded and walked away. A young boy ran up to Steven, holding his new white belt proudly. Mr. Seagal.
I tied it myself.
Steven knelt down. That's your first real achievement in martial arts. Not the belt, but the commitment to show up and try. The boy beamed. Steven Seagal wasn't mocked because he was weak. He was mocked because people judged by appearance instead of character. And that choice revealed everything. Not about him, but about them. Real respect is given freely. Real strength protects the vulnerable. And real character shows in how you treat those who can't help you. That's the lesson. Do you think Steven did the right thing? Should Richard and his fake instructors face even harsher punishment? Have you or someone you know been scammed by a fake martial arts school? Share your story in the comments below. If you believe people should be held accountable for lying and scamming, hit that like button. We're bringing you more TRU stories like this, stories with real lessons and real impact. But we need to know, what hit you the hardest in this story? The disrespect at the beginning, the 3-on-1 fight, the fake credentials reveal, the student's transformation. Drop your answer in the comments. Your feedback makes our content better. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, never judge someone by their appearance. You never know who you're really dealing with. Subscribe for more powerful true stories, more coming soon.